My name is Adhish Yajnik, and I worked on the Nether effects as well as the head rip and the glowing fingers in Roscoe and Maggie. The idea is to track each of these fingers through the duration of the shot. There's some fingers that kind of go out of shot, or they'll go behind the head, and we'll just kind of track the moments when they're on screen and fade out the glow effect when the fingers disappear. So once we have those tracks, I just created a couple of orange solids here, and if we solo those in the actual comp, maybe we'll see them. There's one of them right now, and if we just take a look at what I did to that, all I'm really doing is I added a little mask, and that mask really ideally will match kind of the shape of the contact that the finger is making on the surface. So if we kind of zoom in a little bit, we can see a little bit better. The mask isn't a perfect circle; it's kind of an oval. So and that's going to be parented to our track, so it's following the track, and we're going to just add a couple of those to kind of make the effect really bright. And I've added a luma mat here so that what that's going to do is it's going to take it off of any area that's white. I've put some effects on there to kind of make it a little bit more contrasty to give us a nicer key on that. But essentially what that's doing is that's removing the glow from areas of the image that we don't want. So the final step is to just roto out the fingers. The way we do that is we're going to just kind of go into Mocha, and when we Mocha track, it'll generate a mat for us for the finger. So if we fire up Mocha, we can track our finger wherever it goes, and you can see during the salient moments of this shot, I've tracked it. I've kind of separated it into different layers, but basically once I have that, I can export the shape data, copy it to clipboard, bring it into After Effects, and I just take my original base layer. This is my untreated footage, the original shot, pre-VFX, and I can just paste the shape layer info onto there, and it'll create this shape for me. And then I'm just using a couple of effects to choke it in a little bit at different points during the shot, and to refine the matte so that when we comp it back in, that finger is going to cover any glow that's going onto the finger. So the finger itself is not, erupting into flames. Again, this is our final shot. So each of those is a separate element, a separate track, a separate Mocha roto for the fingers, and we just kind of animate the properties of the mask expansion, the feather, on those orange layers to make it kind of expand from the fingers over time a little bit. The next step is to dive into our Nether effect. Now for that, what we really wanted to do was separate our characters from our background so that we can control kind of the amount of that effect that's on their faces, so we can still read performance and everything, and then just kind of make the background super crazy and just really go heavy with that effect. So part of that involves getting some rotos on our characters. So for that, again, I'm going to go into Mocha, and I'm just going to turn on my Mocha layers that I use to track these things. And what I really recommend is kind of splitting your rotos up into different kind of body parts. So we have the face, we have the chest, we have the neck, we have these arms, and so everything is kind of separated, and it really helps with the roto process because you're not dealing with tons and tons of points at once. Once you have those, again, it's a matter of you export the shape data, copy it to clipboard, and for this, I'm just applying them to black solids because we're going to be using this comp further down the line just to mask things in and out. So this is just kind of our roto comp, and it's important that we set this up so that all of our roto shapes are black on a white background. But this comp is going to be where we apply the background Nether effect, and we're going to take our original finger glow shot and apply the Nether effect to the foreground, right? So if we go into our final comp where we applied our Nether effects, you can see that we have this effect, which is our roted layer. We can see all the effect on the background, and then underneath it we have this, which doesn't have that roto effect. And the reason that we do that really is primarily so that we have a glow effect on this background layer that we're not applying to the base layer, and I'll show you why that is. Because if we apply it to here, boom, we get this shot, and that looks crazy, and we don't like that as much as we like this. this because we still read performances. They don't look like they're on fire, all that stuff. So the three main effects that are going into this are shine. We have heat distortion going on to make it look like basically we're in a hellscape environment, and then star glow to just kind of make everything shine and glow and just enhance that shimmery effect. And then from here, I basically took this After Effects comp and handed it off to Carlo, who did some smoke sims coming off the finger, so it really seemed like the flesh was cooking.
Step one is pretty much you have to get a 3D camera solve of the image. And once you get that, I import it into Cinema 4D, and then I calibrate the camera. I started kind of match moving the tips of her fingers on the guy's head. And once you get that, I used a plugin called Turbulence FD. Use that to kind of drive the simulation from the tips of her fingers. In this shot, I have a 3D head here. The smoke has to simulate with a piece of geometry so that it is a rigid body and it won't go through the geometry, because we don't want the smoke to look like it's going through his head. We want it to look like it's kind of coming from his head. It's not perfect, but I just basically keyframed the skull so that the emitters look like it's pretty much following his head. And once we render this out and get an alpha channel of it, and we bring it into our compositing software, the resulting image looks something like this. Now you can see the emitters, and basically those fingertips are around the head, so what we need to do is that we need to clean that up. We need to pretty much rotoscope out the guy's head so you don't see the emitters. Here's the shot. Adhish has rotoscoped out the fingers for us, so I can just place in my smoke and add motion blur to it and rotoscope out the guy's head. We just kind of want to show you guys one shot that Adhish and I both teamed up on. With a lot of these shots we both had to do lots of work on. We had to kind of make it all work. But overall everything came out looking really good, and we managed to somehow make the 4K workflow deadline. So thanks for watching.